Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen regular meeting for November 9, 2011. And the first item on our agenda is the Woodbridge Board of Education. And Dr. Stella, our superintendent, is here, along with Sheila McCrevin, a member of the Board of Education. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by mentioning that a couple of weeks ago, a week or two ago, we had our Halloween Hoot on Saturdays, our annual event, and this time was better than ever. Hundreds of families coming, multi-generational, multicultural. It was a huge success. Fire department, volunteer fire department were there in two capacities. One was to demonstrate fire equipment outside and so on, help out. They do that every year. The second was that, unfortunately, our cotton machine set off the fire alarm. And I have to admit, I was there helping to give out the cotton candy. I was just handing it out, so I don't know if I'm a culprit in this here or not. But so the fire alarm went off. The place was filled with hundreds of people. The children showed all the adults how to move out very, very quickly, quietly, and in record time. And our fire department, they didn't miss a beat. Just put on their clothing there, the fire equipment and so on, walked in, and told us that it was they checked everything out from top to bottom, told us it was the cotton machine, and everyone just marched right back in, and we continued for the next few hours having a great time. So it was a good event. And, as part of our efforts to help students grow into good citizens, we're having special celebrations for Veterans Day this Thursday at Beecher Road School. It'll start off with a commemoration. The whole school will gather in the front. We have our marching band. There's a nice ceremony. They march through the school, and we have some of our veterans marching with them, and we all come out together, and there's an opening ceremony and different words and so on. Afterwards we have our veterans going into different classrooms. There are different activities, and there's a veterans wall that we have opposite the cafeteria that acknowledges members of family members of children at the school or anyone in the community who sends in their name. So. And I'm also happy to say that Beecher Road School students and staff members will participate in the Friday's Veterans Day celebration that Mr. Hellauer does a wonderful job of organizing in front of Center School at 10:45 a.m. And so we joined the first Selectmen and Mr. Hellauer in just inviting our Beecher Road School community and Woodbridge citizens to come with us too and join us. I think it's an excellent ceremony that grows each year. Our children will participate as members of the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Brownies. By the way, this is the first time in my career I'm very fortunate to have my office opposite the South Assembly Hall, because late in the afternoon I went in and the Girl Scouts just came back from a field trip to the campus, and they got a hold of me, had me join in one of their circle games, holding hands, squeezing, singing songs. And then at the culminating part was I was made an honorary Girl Scout. So it's I'll add that to my resume wherever that's going. I passed out the latest copy of the Beecher Road School update. The smiling face on top is myself, but what I try to do in each update is what I will be doing is to highlight a trend, give an executive summary of an educational trend or initiative at the school. This year, this past issue, I highlighted technology, and I quote Dr. Stella saying, "I can unequivocally say that Beecher Road School has state-of-the-art technology that provides an array of tools for enhancing student learning." And again, thanks go to the town, the educated citizens of Woodbridge and the various boards, Board of Education included, Selectmen Finance, for supporting this effort over the years, for being good listeners, good questioners, and helping us to get to a higher level of understanding and quality. We'll be working on our new three-year plan in the upcoming months. And again, we welcome input from staff, from community, from board members, and so on with that as we move ahead. And again, technology is recognized as a tool, and it's the way we use technology that's going to be important. But there certainly is an environment that our children are in of technology. So, our enrollment for November 3rd indicates that we are 10 students higher than last year. We do not expect a decrease in enrollment next year. We also just completed and received copies of the latest update to our 10-year demographic study And as you know, we look down the pike, but it's hard to look 10 years down, but we do. But with the understanding that every year we have to update with adjustments for the variables, and we want to be as transparent as possible. So this will go on our district website, and we'll send copies to members of the Board of Selectmen and Finance. We've sent it to the Board of Education already. Leaks and/or water damage occur periodically in some of our wings, particularly the A building. So what we plan to do, it's tough for the roofers to come. What they say is that it's difficult to determine where the water is coming from. It's not only the leaks, but it's water that has seeped into various parts of the ceiling. So in 2006, a thermal scan was done of the Beecher Road School roof. And then that was followed up with probably 14 different spots that were repaired. And what we'd like to anticipate doing is having another thermal scan done of the buildings so that we could be efficient in repairing the roof. But again, I would just remind everyone that the substantial part of the roof was from 1960, 1964. There was some patchwork, but I use the analogy of taking a tire and putting a patch on it. That was done in some years afterwards. But we have, on a positive note, we have gotten very, very good use out of the roof to date. I know you have a long agenda, so I'll end it with that point, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Friday.
Just as a follow-up to your comment on Veterans Day, and I appreciate your having that ceremony at the school on Thursday, because it's important that the next generation of our citizens be aware of the sacrifices that have been made by veterans and to keep this great democracy afloat. And it's a special tribute on Friday at Veterans Day, because we'll be honoring Private First Class Eric Soufrine, who died in Afghanistan in June. We're going to have a special ceremony in his memory, and I know you'll be there, Guy, as well as the Beecher Road School Band and many others.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Eric was a student, a graduate, an alumnus of Beecher Road School and of Amity, and his family is a very well-respected members of this community. So it's no small part that will be there in honor of Eric, too. And he'll be acknowledged on Thursday as well. And in the parent update, and I'll personally hand copies of this here to the parents and grandparents, but we have his picture and a few sentences about him. So thank you for mentioning that.
Any comments? We'll see you on Friday. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stella.
Okay, Mr. Willett is not here yet, so why don't we move on to item number 3 on the agenda, Beecher Road School Building Committee. And you have some materials in your packet, and just by way of background, and I'll try to go through this, in your packet is a letter dated September 20, 2011 from Jim L. Mastery to me, who's of Newman Architects, and Newman Architects assisted the Beecher Road School Building Committee in coming up with a proposal for renovations to the school. And he says in his letter, in part, in the second paragraph, we believe it's critical to develop a master plan for renewal of Beecher Road School in order to allow for a logical, phased approach to implementation of the desired scope that may best serve the town in its challenges of maintaining a balanced budget, controlled cash flow, and the ability to plan for other necessary expenditures. And the Board of Education, I believe, recommended Scheme B, which was the group of items and options that would provide a certain level of equity to all teaching spaces at the Beecher Road School, and they include, this is some of those items which are recommended: the new HVAC system, new water heaters. They recommended replacing the boiler plant, new exhaust systems, new direct digital controls to reduce operational costs, new lighting at classrooms in the north and central wings, new lighting in the corridors at the north and central wings, new telephone, PA, and clock system for the entire building, improvements for fire protection, replace bathroom fixtures in the north and central wings, classroom sinks in the north and central wings, partial window replacement, 1950 and 1960 windows, that's how far back we're going with this, a new PVC roof on A, B, C, BK, and D wings, a new entrance canopy, which I know the superintendent is very eager to have done, replace the ceilings, flooring, and paint in the north and central wings, and there's other items that are enumerated in that letter. So what Mr. Mastery is recommending is that a phased approach to implementation would best serve the school and the town. And he says that he can work with us and a selected group of stakeholders to make those determinations and assemble a master plan for improvements considering timing, logistics, and budgets. This roadmap should preserve the ability for the school to operate as close to its current schedule as possible, while protecting the safety and interests of the building users, administration, and the town. So he indicates that they are prepared to work with the town and a more focused committee to design that master plan, and can do so with a reasonably simple modification to our current agreement. So as a result of that, I've requested that a charge be prepared for a new building committee, and that is in your packet, and I'll read to you the charge. Is relatively short. The charge says, the committee shall be responsible for planning and recommending the phasing and timetable for construction, exploration of grants, alternate financing, and/or bonding for funds to complete the major infrastructure upgrade and building renovation project at the Beecher Road School. The Board of Selectmen has created the committee in order to make the project eligible for potential state reimbursement. The committee's responsibilities shall include: A, review and evaluate the previous building committee's recommendations and determine if the project can be completed in phases, with approvals either through a referendum or the annual capital budget process. Update information as necessary, working with the firms previously retained by the Board of Selectmen for this project. B, continue to apply best practices for sustainable design, including the use of sustainable and energy-efficient products and materials, LEED certification if applicable, and the possible use of green energy and other techniques, and seek grant opportunities to fund or offset the additional potential costs of these initiatives. C, prepare a construction design timeline for use in securing financing and/or preparing for a townwide referendum, and seek reimbursement from the State Department of Education for all eligible costs of the proposed construction project. D, recommend to the Boards of Selectmen, Finance, and Education the best means of securing funding for the phases of the project in accordance with the construction design timeline. The funding, all expenditures from the town capital budget project concerning this project shall be incurred in accordance with the policies of the town of Woodbridge, the town charter, and this charge. So I don't know if anyone has any comments on this proposed charge. It seems to be consistent with our architect's recommendation. And so if that's the case, I'd entertain a motion to approve that charge.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. And then I would nominate the following 5 residents of Woodbridge to serve on this committee. That would be Jeffrey Kaufman to serve as the chairman, who I think was a member of the former committee and a former member of the Beecher Road School Board of Education and chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Andrew Esposito Jr., who's a member of the Board of Finance. Greg Coyne, who's a member of the Board of Selectmen. Sheila McCrevin, who's a member of the Woodbridge Board of Education. And Jason Fannenbecker, who's a member of the Beecher PTO, and his resume or CV is in your packet. I think you know all the other individuals. And Mr. Fannenbecker has a background in building and building management. So I would nominate those 5 individuals.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion, or are there any other nominations? If not, all those in favor of those 5 individuals to serve on the Beecher Road School Infrastructure Upgrade Committee, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank them all for willing to serve. Thank you, Greg, and thank you, Sheila. And so we look forward to your work in the upcoming months. Now, so Mr. Willis is not here, so we can go now and move into executive session pursuant to section 1-260 of the Connecticut General Statutes for a discussion concerning the Country Club of Woodbridge, and invite everyone who's at the table here for that. We will discuss negotiations with MDM Golf and negotiations with Toll Brothers.